Hello. Welcome. I am doing let me start off by saying Birdie here with Redbird Designs. Welcome to my live. And I'm doing a paint challenge. I saw another artist, I want to say it was Amanda Evans, I believe, on Instagram, that posted something about doing a paint challenge in February, painting flowers. And I've always been drawn to painting flowers, so I thought this would be a fun way to kind of kickstart my painting. I haven't been able to paint as much as I like to, and so I thought this challenge would really help with that. So that is what I'm doing. And so if you're able to hop on and watch, say hi, let me know what you're doing tonight. Let's see if I can see comments. And I posted kind of what I'm going to be doing with the challenge. The idea is to paint once a month or once a day a new flower. And so that's my goal for the month of February, and I'm going to go live as many times as I possibly can with you guys, and kind of take you along with me and hopefully inspire you to paint something, draw. It doesn't have to be painting. It can be drawing. It could be watercolor. It could be acrylics. It could be oil. It could be coloring pencils. It could be graphite pencil, whatever. Right? It's just getting into the habit of creating art. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is using this old book I found at, I think it was going to get tossed somewhere. So it was a free book, and I love the title of it. It was a silly little book. I don't even know if I read it. Anyways, I have already gessoed all my pages. So what I did was I took a little bit of time and I gessoed all my pages, and I started to do something here, but I'm going to use this book for my challenge because I believe there's about 28 pages in this book, front and back. I think there's like 16 or 17 pages, which maybe there's 18. So anyways, there should be enough pages to complete the challenge in this book, doing a flower on each page, each side. So I did take some time. I've already gessoed this, like I said, or even just white paint, paint aside if you're going to use a book like this, which is super fun. And I love how crinkly the paper is, and it's just going to get kind of thicker as we go. And so yeah, I'm going to do a flower a day, and I'm not going to just pigeonhole myself, I guess, into just acrylics. I might do a little mixed media. I might do watercolor. I might do some just different markings. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep it semi-loose. The only thing is I'm going to put it in this book, and I'm going to stick to 30 minutes. That's kind of my timeline. If I don't stick to 30 minutes, my time will start to get longer and longer, and then it starts to become or seem like a chore sometimes. So keeping it short and sweet will help, I think, keep me on track. So let's see. Hi, Cara. How are you tonight? What else do I want to say before I start? The other thing I'm going to try and do with this challenge is do a flower from the letter of the alphabet. So today's day 1. I'm going to start with a flower that starts with A, and then we'll see how it goes. So, whoops. So I've picked the flower, I believe it's said alum, but it's this pretty burst of little flowers, and I got this image off of Pixabay. So if you are wanting to join and are looking for royalty-free images to paint or create art from, Pixabay is a great tool. I'll just show you that real quick here. It's an app you can download. There's Pixabay. There's also, I think, can't remember the other one. Snapshots. No, that's not what it is. Anyways, I like Pixabay. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can create an account to kind of favorite your stuff. But what you do is you literally come in here, you type in what you're looking for, and all of these images then allow you to paint from or create art from or do whatever. So it's a great tool for looking for inspiration on what to paint. So, like I said, I'm going to start with the letter A, and I love these flowers. I'm not sure if I'm saying them right. I am not a flower expert at all. I just like how they look and I like painting them. So I did find this one here. I like the more pinky, but there's also the purple type. And so that is what I'm going to paint today. So as you're able to hop on, say hi, let me know you're watching. I'm going to try and keep my eye on, let's see if I can bring it up here. I'm going live both on Facebook and TikTok. So let's see if I can bring up the TikTok live so I can see comments. And it looks like you guys are backwards, so I'm glad I checked that. Let me change that real quick and then we'll get started painting. We'll set our timer here. Let's see, we gotta go to settings and we want to mirror. There we go. Perfect, there we are. Now we're right reading for you guys. And I think we're good on Facebook. Kara's good tonight. What are you up to tonight, Kara? Okay, so I have this Finders Keepers book I found. I've already pre-gessoed it. I'm going to just start on the first page right here and get started painting. I'm going to set my timer and I'll try and keep my eye on comments. And let me know if you have any questions. If you'd like to join the challenge, we do have a Facebook group called Create Art. And the link is in my bio, or I put the link in Facebook. So we would love to have you join us in the group and share your progress, whatever that might look like for you, whatever you can do. So I'm going to start just by throwing some this burnt umber or burnt sienna down just to get rid of the white and kind of give me a good base to start with. So I've got my spritz bottle here and I'm just going to water down this brown, create a wash of sorts. I love the idea of old botanical pages in a book where it's all the old art that somebody, you know, studied the flowers and then created this beautiful artwork from that and kind of broke down all of the flower parts. So you see some of the leaves and the roots, and I'm always fascinated by those books and what somebody did to create that art. So I'm going and putting in this darker background, kind of a like a antiquing it maybe. I'm going to grab some white, add a little white to it. Get it a little more wet. I'm going to create a fun, quick little wash. the white help tone it down just a little bit there. Okay, we'll start with that. All right, so let's see if I have any comments or questions. Okay, so I'm going to bring back my picture that I'm painting from. So this is kind of what I'm going for. I love the bright, bright pink. So I've got some magenta here. I think it is. No. Yes, magenta. And some green. Get some green out. And let's just start by sketching in our shape. Cara is, let's see, I just saw your comment come in. I'm expecting some snowstorm. Oh yes, we got we did not have very nice weather yesterday, and then also part of today. The cold came back. It was super nice for a couple days. Kind of teased us. It's in the 40s, I believe. And then yesterday we had an Arctic, we called it an Arctic front come through, and it was very cold and super windy, and the wind was just Okay, so I'm just sketching in this flower, kind of the general shape of it. And I want to see what the leaves look like if I'm going to find a good picture. So you have these really nice tall stalks here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get a good leaf image. So we might just have to go with what we want, what we like. Okay. So anyways, yes, it was super cold, and it was cold today, and I was sick the last couple days, so I haven't been able to go live, and just not feeling well, super tired, and the cold did not make my mood any better. Okay, so we'll start with that. And then I'm going to grab some green, and we'll get I'm going to add a little bit of brown to it just to darken it up a little bit. I always like to start with my dark colors and then build off of that for my different shades. So, I did mention, but if you're just coming in, we are doing a February challenge, kind of a February flower challenge, I guess. I follow, I want to say her name is, I know it's Amanda, but I'm not sure if it's Evans or Evanston. But she had mentioned doing a painting of a flower every day in February. So I thought that would be a great way to kind of kickstart my painting as well. I am not painting as much as I like to lately, so. Cindy, the app that I am using is called Pixabay, and it is fabulous. I love it. I highly recommend it. More even than, let's say, Pinterest. And the reason why is I think when we get into Pinterest and we do a search for something, sometimes that can lead to other things. And then all of a sudden, we're down a rabbit hole of maybe how to organize our kitchen, or maybe it leads us to somebody else's art, and then the comparison game comes in, and I think I'm going to do another flower. I'm just going to put one in right here. Anyways, this is solely just pictures of royalty-free images that you can paint from. And so I love it because it kind of keeps me focused on the fact that I want to paint something, and you know, Pinterest can just lead us into so many other things that I easily get distracted. So if you're like me and easily get distracted, I would definitely recommend Pixabay over Pinterest because of that. There's another app out there called, I can't remember what it's called, but Splash something. Ugh. Just be one of those things that I'm not going to remember. So, but let me show you what it looks at the top. It's Pixabay. Pixabay, and it is completely free, and you don't need to sign up. You don't need to create a membership. You can, if you want, with this app, you can Unsplash. Thank you. Yes, Terry. Hi, Terry. How are you? Yes, Pixabay is awesome, and Unsplash is the other one that I was thinking about. I don't know why I was thinking Snap something, but you're right. Unsplash. Okay. I need a brighter yellow. I need to brighten up my green. So, yeah, I'm doing a flower challenge. So I would love for you to join along if you want to share your artwork and are looking for a safe place to do that. You are welcome to join our Create Art group, where that is all we're doing, is just painting in that group. And it used to be called, if you are familiar with my page, Clipboard Collection. So last year we did a piece of art for every month of the year, something quick with a quote, and that you could put on a clipboard and display for the month. So something that would inspire you, a quote that would be inspiring, and then also to be able to share your work is also inspiring. So that was the theme last year. And I want to do something different this year, but I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet. So I'm just starting with this challenge, and I'm going to try and go live as many times as I can with you guys and paint a flower a day for February, because I love flowers, and we'll see how that looks at the end of the month. So see what we can accomplish. So I'd love for you to join me in this challenge. And I am also keeping my paintings to 30 minutes to help keep me on track. And then I've also decided to use this old book. I love repurposing old books into art journals because I just love old books for one. I think the binding's cool, and if you can find a book that has some cool art already in it and you can use that to kind of peek through, I think that even just makes it that much better. So I found this book probably at a Goodwill, or maybe the library was giving it away for free. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I've had it for a while, but it is, I'll show you the cover, about two dogs. But the title, Finders Keepers, really kind of drew me in. And when we create art, sometimes we can get caught up in creating art that should be hung on a wall or for a purpose, create art for a purpose, but in reality, it is something that we find while we're painting. We find healing and just some freedom. So that's kind of where the book title makes sense to me anyways. You can find yourself while you're painting. Okay. Cara likes pink flowers. Well, there we are. We are painting magenta flowers today. So if you're joining us on TikTok, I'm not able to see your comments as easily, so do say hi. Make sure to hit the follow button so that you catch our lives. You'll be notified when we do go live. And I'm going to try and go live a lot with this challenge. So let's see if I can see anything on my iPad. It's not refreshed yet, so I'm not seeing any comments. Okay. I wish there was just a little bit easier way for me to see comments on TikTok, but we will just have to make do. Welcome if you're joining us. All right, so I've kind of got my long stems of my flowers, and again, I am not a flower perfectionist, not a perfectionist, what do I want to say? Oh my gosh, I've lost my train of thought. I feel like I have a very hard time focusing lately. After being sick, I just have kind of a loss of words specialist. So I'm just putting these little petals on the ends of my stems to kind of mimic the flowers here. So if we zoom in, which this again is the great thing about this app, if you have an image that you like, you can download it, and then what I do is I usually open it in my photo library, and then I can really zoom in and kind of get some of that detail there. So we can kind of see what those little petals look like. But also it's just kind of fun to just have a little abstract to them and just kind of make them however you want. So I'm just bringing in, they're just little, almost like little, if you're thinking about my brush stroke, it's kind of a little cross. So I get 4 little petals happening. And then sometimes I add a third or sometimes or a fifth. Sometimes I only do 3. And then if you look, some of them aren't even open yet. So we can just come in with a single brush stroke and put almost a little teardrop on the ends of these little stems. I've also mixed a little bit of this burnt umber with my magenta to get a darker color. And we have our clock ticking down to keep me on task. Terry says, I know the loss of words feeling. Yes, yes. You're just in a fog, right? You're just that foggy feeling, and man, it really took me for a loop. And it's super frustrating because you want to do all the things, or you're used to doing all the things every day. And usually the first couple days I'm sick, I'm like, I'm powering through, you know, take some medicine and get through it. And then if it drags on longer than that, then I know it's like, all right, I can't power through. That means I've got to sleep. Is also frustrating. Definitely. Something I struggle with, just relaxing and letting my body heal. Okay, so now I'm starting to add flowers right on top, and I'm going to add a little bit of, we'll see what white does to my magenta here. I'm afraid I'm going to get too pinky, and I don't want to get too pinky. Oh, that's not too bad. So I started with the darker color. I added that burnt umber to my magenta. And then I was just using just the magenta. And now I'm going to come in with this lighter color and add some flowers on top of there. Bring some light into my little flowers here. So let me know it. So I think if you, is it a botanist that knows flowers, or is that just like all type floral? I'm sure there's a word for somebody who has studied flowers and that's kind of their specialty. Maybe they went to school for it. So I think a herbologist is for herbs, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I love painting flowers, and so that's what we're doing, whether we know everything about them or not. All right, so I've got that second shade of that magenta in there. Let's add some to just my lines. I'm gonna add a little more white and bring in just a little more white color, because we have some of these little petals that are reflecting some light, so they're super bright right on the top here. And this is by absolutely no means a super detailed painting because I'm at a 30-minute mark, and I like to be more on the impressionistic painterly style, where it's kind of what my brain thinks, and that's what I'm going to paint. So I'm going to add some more white and add just a few more little white super bright petals here. Okay, so I'm gonna let my flowers sit for a second. I might come back to those in the last few minutes here. But I want to brighten up my stalks or my stems here. I'm going to come in with some of this yellow and green and brighten them up a little bit. So if you are watching, tomorrow will be, I'm going to paint something. My goal is to do the letters of the alphabet, which is pretty close to how many days there are in February. I know it's not exact, but that will help me to just kind of keep moving forward, because eventually I'll get to the point where what do I paint? What flowers should I paint, right? Well, kind of, I'll start to peter out here. And so I think if I try and do a different letter every day, that kind of, again, helps me stay on track. And so tomorrow will be letter B. So if you have a favorite flower that starts with the letter B, please drop it in the comments, and I would love to give it a try. Letter B tomorrow. I think we've got this like little, one of the, like it's looks like a little leaf, but it's also, oh, what am I thinking? Oh my gosh, you guys, words are so hard for me right now. It's like a little skin of where it was all together, and it opens up and some of that greenery has come away and it's kind of dying. So I'll put a little bit of that in there. Bring that out. There we go. I'm going to bring some more light to my stems. We'll get the yellow, the white, and a little bit of green. Bring just a little bit more brightness to those. The sun is hitting. Cara says, looks beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so fun to do. And keep it loose and just have fun with some different colors. All right, I think I'm just going to go back to my magenta and add a few more little petals out here. Round them up just a little bit more. We've got about 3 minutes left. We've got these really great, gosh, I wish I knew what they were called. I know there's all sorts of names for all the parts of the flowers, but they're like, there's these little, kind of the inside, they would probably be part of the seed next time, and they're a little bit darker. if anything, this painting challenge is going to help me figure out parts, at least the parts of the flowers, the names, right? So I'm just putting these little dark, kind of a mix of that burnt umber or the burnt sienna and some of that magenta. Okay, I think we're good. So if you want to join in the challenge, if you want to share your work, head over to our group called Create Art. It's our Facebook group. If you're on TikTok, the link is in my bio. We'd love to have you there. If you're on Facebook, I did put it in the description. So the one thing that I do want to note about the group is that I do require you to answer a few questions just to keep the group safe, because there are a lot of people out there who are looking to spam in groups and all of that. So this is one way to keep the group safe, is to, if you want to join, you'll answer the questions, and then if you don't, you won't answer the question. So that just helps keep the trolls out of our group. So we'd love to have you. I'd love for you to join in the challenge and paint, draw, color, whatever it is that you like to do, mixed media, and join us in painting flowers this month. So we are doing a flower a month. So I'm going to grab, let's see, what do I got here? Oh, perfect timing. I'm going to grab a paint pen and label this. I'll make sure that I have my spelling right. So we are going to do a line, and then we will do A, L, L, I, U, M. So this is day 1 of our art challenge. And like I said, would love for you to join. So I've got this jelly roll pen, which I love making marks after the fact. Kind of fun to just outline in this white. It helps make it kind of stand out. And I know my 30 minutes are up, but I'm just going to add a few little marks here. And just give it some fun markings. It's fun to add some other ways to mark up your paintings. And then we can also add a little bit of some black. It's gonna work. Let's see if I can get it to work. So I'm holding these pens or paint pens really high up on the marker or the paint pen, simply to help me create really abstract, random marks. if you hold something here, like if you were going to write a word or sketch or something, you get a more precise line, and it's harder for our memory muscles to be random this way. It really, for me to draw a line from here to here, my memory muscles would force me just to have a straight line. But if I wanted to have something really squiggly and fun, holding it up here kind of takes away from that and gets rid of that control, and you're left with some really cool markings. So keep that in mind if you're trying to create some scratchy marks that are random. So I think that is it. Okay, so there is day one, and I will try and go live every day with you guys. Let's see, where am I at to my camera? So a fun little flower for the first day of February. Happy February, everybody. And thanks for joining, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening, and I will try and go live tomorrow. It might be more so in the mornings. Usually first thing in the morning is the best time for me to paint, but we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will chat with you later. Bye.